The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 11. Turning Point, featuring the return of Dr. Octopus. A world-famous superhero doesn't spend all his time fighting deadly menaces. There are moments he spends alone, deep in thought, mulling over the past and pondering the future. Such a superhero is Spider-Man, and such a moment is this.
Ever since Betty Brant left town, I've been carrying a king-sized torch. I've got to snap out of it. I gotta try to forget her. Who am I kidding? I'll never forget her. Never stop searching for her. If only I knew why she left town so suddenly. If only I had some clue. Say, what's that on the radio?
Interrupt our program for a bulletin. Having served his prison term, the notorious Dr. Octopus is to be released today.
During the terse announcement, Spider-Man suddenly forgets Betty Brant for the moment as he travels back in memory to one of the most dangerous battles of his entire career.
Dr. Octopus to be released? They can't do it. They mustn't. He's one of the most dangerous men alive. Even I, with all my power, came close to being defeated by him. That blasted web, it spread out over my glasses. I can't see. Get it off. Even though he can no longer see me, his other arms are now around me, pulling me toward him with his incredible strength.
Within seconds, the dramatic teenage crime fighter leaps into action.
I've got to try to prevent them from releasing him. He mustn't be allowed to menace mankind again. It feels great to be on the go again, with the wind tearing at me as I swing high over the rooftops. This is what I needed.
Moments later at the municipal prison.
I'll bet I'm the only fella in town who ever tried to break into a jail. Hope I'm not too late.
Next, Spider-Man's awesome calling card shines on the wall of the warden's office.
Warden, you've got to prevent Dr. Octopus's release. He must not be set free. Spider-Man. Sorry to break in this way, but I didn't want to waste a minute. Is he still behind bars? Yes, but he leaves tonight. We can't hold him. He served his time. As for you, I'll give you 10 seconds to leave the way you entered. No masked adventurer dictates the law while I'm warden here.
And an especially constructed cell with reinforced cement walls and bars.
I'm glad I was smart enough not to try to escape. I knew I'd get time off for good behavior. Now they can't hold me any longer. I was able to spend all my time improving my dexterity with my extra arms. I can use them so well now that I'll never be captured again.
Later, back home again, Spider-Man changes to his everyday identity as Peter Parker, a teenage science buff, as he works on a peculiar device.
I guess the warden was right. A man can't be kept in jail longer than his sentence. Everyone deserves a second chance. But just the same, this little gizmo I cooked up will help me keep tabs on Doc Ock, just in case. It looks like a detailed model of a live spider, except for the transistorized circuits I've installed inside. No matter where it is, it will send back coded messages to me which I can pick up with my small portable receiver. Now, my only problem is, how do I attach it to Doc Ock? Oh well, I've got a hunch that Spider-Man will find a way to do it.
A few hours later, back at the prison.
With your talent, Doc, it shouldn't be hard for you to land a good job. Just keep your nose clean, fella. A job? Do they expect me to become a working man like an ordinary, unimaginative weakling? Before I'm through, the whole world will tremble at the mention of my name.
Here I am, just as I promised in my letter. I'll drive you to your destination.
Good, I'm anxious to get started.
Good thing I returned just in time. A car is picking him up. Looks like a girl is driving. Who can it be?
Make yourself comfortable. It will be a long drive.
It's Betty. But what's her connection with Dr. Octopus? Something fell out of the car when he opened the door. It looks like a road map. She's driving off so fast I won't be able to follow. But this is where my little gizmo comes in. It's not too hard to throw something in a speeding car and make sure you hit it. Not when you've got the help of spider-powered muscles. Bullseye, it hit the car roof. And the special adhesive I coated it with will keep it stuck there as long as I'll need it.
And so, unaware of the strange object on the top of the car, Betty Brant drives off into the night with her sinister passenger as our little cast of characters comes closer to their date with destiny. Meantime,
It all happened so fast that I can hardly believe it. How could that have been Betty Brant at the wheel? Maybe she's on my mind so much that I'm imagining I see her. Well, I'd better pick up this map. It may give me a clue. It's a map of Philadelphia, and the car had Pensy license plates. That must be their destination. Well, Spidey boy, looks like you're gonna take a trip too. I've gotta see this through to the end.
our scene now changes to the city of brotherly love, where we find an attorney visiting his client in jail.
Well, Brant, did your sister do as I told her? I hope so, mister, for your sake. Don't worry, Blackie. She's probably driving Dr. Octopus back to Philly right now. Betty wouldn't let me down. She better not. That gambling debt you owe me is already past due. And you know what my boys do to Welchers, don't you, Brant? I know, Blackie. I've been your lawyer too long not to know. Oh, cancel the dough you owe me as soon as Dr. Octopus springs me from jail, and no sooner. Now, get lost. I've got some thinking to do. Sure, Blackie, I'll go. Who'd have guessed that Bennett Brant, top man in his class at law school, would end up as a spineless flunky, a stooge for the most ruthless mobster in the East? All because I wanted easy money. What a joke. It's the hardest money anybody ever earned. And now I've involved my own sister in this mess.
Lost in his own rueful thoughts, the gangling mouthpiece reaches his apartment to find...
Betty, you've returned, and you've brought Dr. Octopus. Say, what's going on? So, you don't think Dr. Octopus is good enough to talk to you, eh? You haven't said a word since you drove me from New York.
Keep away from me. I brought you here as I said I would, but now I want to go. Oh, Bennett, thank goodness it's you.
Out of good heel, do you? I've heard of you, Brant, a weakling lawyer who can't make a move without Blackie Gaxton's okay. Now follow me into the other room, Brant. We've got business to talk over.
Oh, Bennett, now that I've brought him here, as I promised Blackie Gaxton, can't you leave? Can't you go somewhere and make a fresh start? Please.
Not yet, Betty. Not till Dr. Octopus helps Blackie to break out of jail. But I promise you, sis, if I ever get free of Blackie, I'll pay you back for all you've done. I'll make you proud of me.
But what about the jailbreak? If you stay, won't you be an accessory? You'll never be able to get straight.
I just can't run now. I haven't the courage. If only I hadn't got you mixed up in all this.
And then, as her brother goes into the next room to speak with Dr. Octopus, Betty Brant sits alone in the gloomy room as tears fill her eyes.
I gave him all the money I had so that he could pay his debts to Blackie, but it wasn't enough. It's never enough. I had to run away from Peter in New York because I didn't want him to know about Bennett. How can I ever return? Where will it all end?
But little does Betty suspect that back in New York, Peter Parker is planning to find her to learn her tragic secret.
Aunt May, I'm thinking of taking a little trip this weekend. I've always wanted to visit Philadelphia and see the historical sites.
Oh, nice, Peter. The trip will do you good. You've been so listless lately. Please forgive me for not going with you, dear, but I've so many things to do here at home.
Lucky for me that you do. Anyway, you might find it kind of tough keeping up with Spider-Man in the next few days. That's okay, Aunt May. I understand.
A few minutes later, after a jet from New York lands at the Philadelphia airport.
Now, all I've got to do is find Betty, see what her connection with Doc Ock is, make sure that he isn't causing any trouble, and be back in New York in time for class on Monday morning. That's all. I must have covered half the city by now, and still no signal on my portable receiver. Well, I just have to keep searching. Good thing I brought a full supply of web fluid with me.
Finally, after another 20 minutes of swinging past the rooftops.
At last, there's the signal. That means the car with my little electrified spider is somewhere nearby.
Changing back to his Peter Parker identity so that he can search the neighborhood without attracting attention, he finally finds...
Betty? Then it was you. I found you at last.
Peter, you've been searching for me? I never dreamt.
But I couldn't let you just walk out of my life. You mean too much to me.
Oh, Peter, what a fool I was. I should have confided in you. Should have told you everything right at the start. I need you, Peter. I don't know where to turn.
And then, her trembling voice choked with emotion, Betty tells the boy she loves all about her brother, Blackie Gaxton, and Dr. Octopus.
Well, I just had to drive Dr. Octopus here, Peter. It was the only way to keep my brother safe from Blackie's gang. I was ashamed to tell you before. To tell you my brother is a lawyer for a dangerous mobster.
But you can't be blamed for that, Betty. You've done all you could. I'm glad you told me, because I have some good news for you. I just learned that Spider-Man is in Philly to keep tabs on Dr. Octopus. I'm sure that we won't have to worry about Octopus or Blackie Gaxton with Spider-Man around. I've just decided I can't keep it from her any longer. Once we're back in New York, I'm gonna tell Betty that I'm Spider-Man.
But sometimes fate has other plans, for on the other side of town, a strange and menacing form swings from roof to roof on a sinister mission.
This task will be child's play for Dr. Octopus. As soon as I collect the $100,000 which Blackie will pay me for this job, I'll have the stake I need to make myself the king of crime. These ordinary iron bars can't resist the power of my artificial arms. There, I've snapped them.
Good work, Doc. I knew you were the right man for the job.
I was the only one for the job, and never forget it. I am no common criminal for hire to the highest bidder.
Sure, Doc, sure. Don't get sore. As soon as we reach my getaway ship in the harbor, you'll get your payoff.
Seconds later, a lean, smooth-muscled figure swings effortlessly across the city, heading for the same building, hoping to prevent Blackie's escape, not knowing he is seconds too late.
Octopus is sure to try to spring Blackie while he's still a prisoner in the courthouse. If he waits till they take him to the state pen, it'll be a much tougher job.
But by the time the costumed crime fighter reaches the roof, the alarm has already been sounded, and...
Look, it's Spider-Man. Maybe he's the one who helped Blackie escape. I'm too late. I'll have to move fast. First, I'll black out that spotlight. Good thing they didn't have time to play any other lights on me. I'll be able to get away in the darkness. What a rotten break. I arrived too late to stop Blackie's escape, and because they spotted me, I'll probably get the blame. Suffer in spider webs. I just remembered. With Octopus and Blackie on the loose, I'd better get back to Betty. She might be in great danger.
But once again, a capricious fate has made the teenage crusader minutes too late, for before Spider-Man can reach his goal.
Come on, move. Blackie wants us to bring you both to his getaway ship.
But why? We've done what you wanted. Why doesn't he let us go?
I was a fool. I should have known he'd never let us go.
You can say that again, mouthpiece.
Later, the helpless girl and her brother are taken to a dingy tramp steamer.
We'll wait on this old tub until a launch comes to pick us up. Blackie has everything planned.
Yeah, then we'll skip to some foreign country where no one will ever be able to touch us.
And then the final two passengers come aboard.
Keep moving, Gaxton. I'm not letting you out of my sight till I get my $100,000.
It's aboard this ship. You'll get it. Don't worry.
But unsuspected by any of those on board, there is still another passenger swinging onto the ship.
Good thing they used the car that had my gizmo on it. I was able to pick up the signal and follow them all the way.
Meantime,
You can't do this, Blackie. I've done everything you asked. You're free now, just as you wanted to be. So my debt is cancelled. You've got to let us go.
I do, huh? This'll show you that Blackie Gaxton doesn't have to do anything. Now, I don't want to hear another peep out of you.
No, don't. No.
That scream. It was Betty. They must have taken her here too.
but in his haste to reach Betty's side, Spider-Man carelessly slips on a coil of rope as he lands, and...
Ow, my ankle! Of all the bonehead things to do, I didn't notice that rope lying there. Of all the times for this to happen, I sprained it. I can't put any weight on it.
Well, looks like we got company. On your feet, pal. We're taking you to the boss. We found a stowaway, Blackie. Friend of yours?
Dr. Octopus, with Betty and her brother, as well as Blackie and his gunman. Now I'm really in for it. Spider-Man, what did you bring him down here for, you fools? He's dangerous.
Don't worry about him, Gaxton. I've been waiting for a chance to have my revenge on him. You won't have to worry about Spider-Man. I promise you that. But there are some other things you can start worrying about, such as the fact that I'm taking over now. Now that I know the money is on board the ship, I need you no longer.
If I'm ever gonna make a break, this is my chance to do it. Hey, look out, he's busting loose. Oh, Since everyone is making speeches, I might as well furnish some entertainment. So here goes. This won't be easy with a bad ankle, but if I can move fast enough to keep them all off balance. First, I'll take care of the hired hands, like this. I'll save the best for last. Sorry, Doc Ock, I didn't mean to knock them into you. Oops, watch yourself. I wouldn't want to skin your pink little knuckles when you fall down and go boom.
Clumsy fools.
I hope he stays down there long enough for me to put Blackie's men out of action. Nice try, playmate, but you're not pushing around a helpless gal and her brother now. What's up, Blackie boy? Oh, trying to reach that pop gun, eh? Wait, let me help you.
Even Spider-Man can be stopped by a bullet.
Oh, Betty, Bennett, stay back. Keep under cover until I get this gun away.
Those shots, they're going wild. They might hit Betty. Look out, Betty, get behind me.
No, Bennett, you're getting in the line of fire. Stay back. I'm all right. Spider-Man, stop struggling with him. Those shots will hit. Bennett! Bennett, speak to me.
Ugh.
He's been shot because he tried to help me. Oh, Bennett.
It's better this way. I was no good to anyone. Maybe now you can wash your hands of all this. I told him to stay back until I got Blackie's gun. Why didn't he listen?
It's your fault. If you hadn't interfered, if you hadn't tried to be a hero, it might not have happened. I hate you. Do you hear me? I hate you.
You don't know what you're saying. Stop it, girl. You mustn't. You can't mean it.
If only Peter were here. He's the only one I can turn to. But it's too late. Everything's too late. And Bennett is dead. Because of Spider-Man.
She really thinks I'm responsible for her brother's death. How can I ever convince her she's wrong? But there's no time for that now. Blackie's escaping, and Dr. Octopus is still at large. I've got to move.
His heart filled with a burning rage, the vengeful Spider-Man goes after Blackie Gaxton.
I'll get you, Blackston. There's no place on Earth you can run to now. Blast you. You've ruined everything. But I'm not finished yet. That's it, Gaxton. I've counted the shots. Your gun's empty. Hold him, boys. Keep him away from me.
But oblivious to the pain at his ankle, to the man trying to hold him, to everything save the fury in his heart, Spider-Man picks up the trembling mobster in one hand, and...
There's only one language a killer like you understands. And this is it.
While in the hold below, an equally furious Dr. Octopus hurls the remaining mobsters away from him as casually as one might swat a fly.
Out of my way, you weaklings. I have a score to settle on the deck above. This is the wrap-up, Spider-Man, the moment I've waited for since you sent me to jail last year.
Octopus is back. I was afraid of this. He almost beat me last time when I fought him alone. I've got to keep moving. I gotta stay out of reach of those powerful arms of his.
Why prolong the agony? I'll get you sooner or later. You can't do any more swinging if I grab the line you're swinging on, can you?
Just watch me, Doc. I'll give you a little lesson in aerogymnastics. I sure wish I felt as confident as I'm trying to sound. Lucky I had enough momentum to keep me swinging over to the smokestack.
Bah, kid stuff, using my arms to propel me. I can still move faster than you.
Is that so? How come I'm always way ahead of you then, Big Mouth? I can't keep swinging forever. Maybe I can get a breather by dropping down to this walk under the upper deck. Ow! I forgot about my ankle. I gotta keep my weight off of it. It hurts worse than ever. Say, I thought I got rid of you guys before. Don't you know when you're not wanted? Maybe I can catch Doc Ock off guard by swinging up to the deck behind him. It's worth a try. Well, so much for that idea.
I expected you to try something like that. Now I've got you.
Don't bet on it, chum. Just wait till I finish wrapping this little rope pulley around you. There, pretty good knot, eh? What a Boy Scout I'd make. Ah, what a shame. Looks as though you can't keep your balance. Well, have a nice trip. I knew you'd have to let me go in order to use your free arm to balance yourself.
As soon as I tear this rope with my free hand, I'll get you, Spider-Man. I'll end your career for good.
Yes, some career. No vacations, no pension plan, not even a salary. Go ahead and end it. Who cares? He's gaining on me. Maybe some webbing stretched across the hatchway will stop him.
You should know better than this, fool. I'll rip through your infectual webbing in a matter of seconds.
Well, you can't blame a guy for trying. Oh, now what?
Now I've got you trapped, that's what.
Not yet you haven't. Have a whiff of some chemical foam from the fire extinguisher first.
Ugh, can't see.
This is nutty. It's like being on a merry-go-round. I'm not doing Betty or myself any good this way. I've got to find a way to beat him. While you're lost in your little one-man fog, Doc, I'll just skedaddle out of here by zipping between your arms. Now I've got to find Betty and make sure she's all right.
Meantime, at the other side of the ship.
Blackie is knocked out for the count. Between Spider-Man and Dr. Octopus, our lives aren't worth a plug nickel here.
I know what you're getting at. We might as well grab Blackie's $100,000 and hightail it out of here.
And we'll take you for a hostage. I've got a hunch Spider-Man won't bother us if he thinks you'll be in danger.
No, let me go. I don't care if you shoot me. I will go with you. Do you hear me? I won't.
Naturally, you won't, my dear, because you're going with me.
Dr. Octopus? Oh, no.
She fainted. It's just as well. I'll be able to carry her without her screaming. There comes the launch to pick up Gaxton, only they'll pick me up instead.
But at that very instant,
Take your hands off her.
Spider-Man. I'll leave the girl behind. Spider-Man is more important. I'll get him to follow me onto the launch. He won't have as much room to maneuver there. I'll finish him off easy.
I can't move fast enough. My ankle keeps slowing me down.
You want me, Spider-Man? Come and get me, if you dare.
He knows the odds are in his favor on that smaller boat. It'll be harder for me to dodge his arms, but I can't quit now. I just can't. I knew they shouldn't have set you free, Octopus, but I've got enough on you now to send you back. For a long, long time.
You're whistling in the dark, Spider-Man. You'll never leave this launch alive.
He keeps warding off my blows with his arms. I can't get past his defense.
No matter how strong you are, Spider-Man, my arms are stronger. And even faster.
I'm getting out of here. I agreed to pick up Blackie Gaxton, not take two battling furies aboard.
Ah, I see you're tiring, Spider-Man. Too bad your arms are mere flesh and blood, not tireless artificial appendages like mine.
He's right. I am tiring. I can't take much more.
I've waited a long time for this moment, but I never thought you'd make it so easy for me to get my final revenge. I thought I'd have to search for you to... Wait, who's that? It's a police launch, pulling to us.
Ahoy the ship! This is the police! We noticed your boat out of control. Stand by, we're coming aboard to investigate.
Only seconds till they get here. I gotta stop Octopus before then.
I'll still have time to destroy you before they land, and then I'll make my escape.
but just then the pilotless craft, running out of control, strikes a piling, hurling the two battling superfoes into the sea.
Phew! That happened just in the nick of time for me. Now if I could just swim underwater to that dock so I won't have to explain to the police. I made it, but it looks as though Doc Ock got away too. Maybe it's just as well. Next time we meet, I don't want to be held back by a useless ankle. I'd better make sure Betty is okay now, and... Wait, there she is now. Don't worry, Miss Brandt. We've got everything under control. You're out of danger now. When we revived Blackie, he admitted you were just an innocent pawn in his jailbreak scheme. You're in the clear now.
But my brother, if only he were still alive, but it's too late.
The police have everything in hand, and Betty's okay, except for her sorrow at what happened to her brother.
We rounded up all of them, Chief, except Dr. Octopus. Looks as though he made a clean getaway, and there's no trace of Spider-Man either, even though all those punks claim he's the one who beat them.
Well, it's all over for now. As for me, if I wrap enough webbing tight around my ankle, I may be able to change to Peter Parker and walk without too much of a limp. There, this will have to do. Now I've got to go to Betty. With her brother gone, she's all alone in the world. She'll need me now more than ever. But now I can never tell her that I'm really Spider-Man. If I do, I'm sure to lose her forever. I'll have to keep my secret locked up inside me. For all time.
And so...
I'm glad the police cleared you, Betty, but I know how you must feel about your brother.
Oh, Peter, he was always so weak, so headstrong. He got into bad company while he was at college, but still, I loved him. Poor Bennett. At least he ended like a man. In my shock, my rage, I blamed Spider-Man for his death. I realize now how wrong I was. It wasn't his fault. He was trying to help us. But still, I never want to see Spider-Man again. I couldn't bear being reminded of Bennett. And you understand that, Peter? Or do I sound like a fool?
You could never sound like a fool to me, Betty. Of course I understand. And I'm sure Spider-Man would too, if he knew.
And then Peter Parker leaves Betty alone with her grief as he slowly walks into the night, little dreaming of the new adventures and surprises which await him. The end.
Well, guys, that was the Amazing Spider-Man issue number 11. We saw the return of Dr. Octopus, which it's been a while since we've last seen him, and it seems he's now got away scot-free, so maybe we're going to be seeing him again in the future. As for the situation with Betty, it seems that Peter is never going to be able to tell her that he's actually Spider-Man, which may actually hinder the relationship quite a bit if it even progresses. But I find it interesting that we kind of had our first on-page death, you could say, of an innocent bystander. But nonetheless, guys, if you enjoy this series and want to see it continue, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.